Hi, DJ here, founder of Calling All Messengers. Thanks for joining me on this video series of how to create a life that you love. In this series, I'm going to be asking you, what do you want? What does your heart want at the depth and the core of your being? I can just give you one idea, one thought, one encouragement to change something about what you're doing, what you're thinking, how you're living, to create a life of abundance and love, and just to have a life that rocks, you know, that you get up in the morning and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see the adventure that is going to be presented to me today. I can't wait to come up with new ideas of how to love better, to serve better, to be a better me. If I can help in any of those ways, yes, then my mission has been accomplished. Because I know that I would have loved somebody to have told me at an earlier age some of the things that I have now embraced, own, and practice every single day of my life. So I want to start with where I was, where I began this journey. In 1999, I felt frustrated with my life. It wasn't like a huge frustration. It was just, there's got to be more than what I'm living. And if anyone looked at me from the outside, I was happy enough. I had, you know, everything that we're told that is important to be happy. House, car, husband, kids, job. I had what appeared to be it all, but there was something missing. And what was missing was something inside of me. I didn't know that at the time. I thought it came from outside of me. So on this particular day, inside, I'm frustrated. And I'm thinking if everyone else would just change, if my husband would love me better, I wouldn't be frustrated. If my parents and my siblings cared about me more, I wouldn't be so frustrated. If I felt more fulfilled in my job, if I got along better with my co-workers and my bosses, then I would be happier, right? If they would just do something different, I would be happier. And so that was the attitude that I seriously had at this time. And I was frustrated because things weren't working for me, and I blamed it on everyone else. I was a victim. If everyone else would just do something different, I would feel better about myself and I would be happy. That's what I thought. So in 1999, this frustration and me were walking down a downtown sidewalk, and we're looking for our car, and I'm like, let's do something else. And I'm thinking to myself, I want us to be a happy family if it kills me. And it almost did. Because right after that thought, a car jumped the sidewalk and hit me straight on, throwing me 40 feet in the air. Okay, as soon as I realized there's nothing I can do to change where I am right now, a surrender came over me. And it was the most peaceful, surrendered, loving feeling I had ever had in my life. And it was, I'll call it, I felt the radiance of love. I felt God. I felt peace. I felt relaxed, which is probably what saved me. So I set out on a mission to find more of that, to find that inside of me. It took me on a journey of self-discovery, of humility, vulnerability, to really understand and appreciate the value of surrender. And most of all, love, and how loving myself and loving others is truly doing the same thing at the same time. So what do you want? I realized what I really wanted was to have more of that peace, more of that love, more of that letting go within myself. I wanted to feel light and free. What do you want? One of the great concepts on my journey that I realized or came to understand, which was very challenging for me and yet freeing for me, was that happiness was my choice. That I was looking for other people to give me my happiness. Like I mentioned, like my husband, if he would just do things differently, and my coworkers and my parents and my family, if everyone else would do things differently, then I could be happy. I had no idea that I could actually choose what I thought about and choose how I thought about it. And that changed my world, rocked my life. I had no idea that I had so much influence over what I thought about. I thought when things happen, this is what I thought, this is what I felt, this is how I reacted. I never had any imagination, idea that I could actually choose how and what I thought about. So it was like, oh my gosh, truly, this may sound so simple to you. It was not. Think about it. We get to choose how we think about things. So an example would be somebody lies. On this particular day, someone had lied to me, and I was like even more frustrated than I normally was frustrated that this person lied to me, that I cared about and I thought cared about me. So when they lied to me, I thought, well, why would you do that to me? That it was about me. That they didn't love me enough, care enough about me enough, respect me enough, that they lied to me. So immediate reaction, I'm angry, I'm frustrated, I'm hurt, I'm disrespected. This is what happened in my mind and my heart because I thought about it and felt the pain and the suffering of what their behavior. So what in essence I did was I took their behavior and I made it about me. I didn't realize I could choose. Now I know I can choose. So what I've chosen now is their behavior wasn't about me. Their behavior was about them. They got to choose whether they lied or told the truth or not. I got to choose how I perceived it. So how I chose to perceive it after I found out this wisdom was they were scared. I'm not justifying their behavior. I'm acknowledging that their behavior is about them and not me. They were afraid. Coming to a place of radical honesty. Yep, there's one of my words. Radical honesty, radical change. We have to change the way we've been thinking, the way we've been doing, the way we've been operating in order to change the world. And I believe that you're here with me for that reason. We are changing the world in having this conversation. So happiness is a choice. The second concept that was really impactful to me was the realization that I didn't choose my life, really. I just kind of went along. It's like I was under the impression from my background, from my history, what it took to be happy. And from where I came from, you get an education, you get a decent job, you get a decent car, you find a mate, you get a house, you have a couple kids. Voila, happiness. That's not how it happened. You know, I mean, not that these things are bad or wrong, they're all good. That doesn't bring happiness, though. If you've ever had a new car or a new house or a new piece of jewelry or new clothing, whatever, you know the newness wears off. It's like fun when you get it, but it's not sustainable happiness. Stuff and people is not sustainable happiness. That's part of where happiness is a choice. People hand down information to us all the time. Our parents, our family, our church, media, now the internet, all hands us all kinds of information. So how much of that information do we just take and believe? We don't even think about it. We don't even question it. We just pick it up and take it. So I ask you, Is it your truth? What is your truth? One of the things that I learned when I was spinning in the air and I felt that radiance, I have a truth inside of me. And that truth was different than the truth that I had known until that moment, until that peaceful, surrendered, loving moment. I realized that there was something more than me. I was something bigger, a part of something bigger, and we all are. So what's your truth? A truth becomes a truth when we believe in an idea. It becomes our truth. It's not our truth if we don't believe in it. Think about that. So I'm going to ask you, what do you want? You. Not what people told you you should want or you should need, right? Aren't we done with the shoulds and the needs? I would like to take those two words out of our vocabulary. They create guilt and shame, and they are not a part of love. And anything that is not part of love is not part of God, is not part of growth, not part of spirit, not whatever you want to call that essence of all and creative energy, love. So we get to choose our happiness. Someone else's happiness is not our happiness. We have to find our truth in order to know what makes us happy. And the third concept is about the idea that we are divine love. We are creative energy. We are divine creative energy. That's why we get to create a life that we want. I believe that I created that car, materializing that anger and frustration in me. That car coming at me materialized my anger, and it took me on a journey that my soul, my heart had been crying for, but I couldn't find my way to this journey. I was a victim, and this manifested, this materialized true victimhood, right? I was hit on a sidewalk by an uninsured, unlicensed motorist, of which the authorities did nothing about because I hadn't died. And they had more important things to do. That really sent that part of me, that victim part of me, that feeling of not feeling good enough, which we'll talk about in the next series, it took it to a whole nother level. I created that. I've also created this life. I've created this life out of love. I believe I created that life out of fear. So what do you want to create out of love? We're creating our life that we're living in right now with every thought, word, and action. We are manifesting it. So what do you want? I think it would be a great idea, if you want to play with this, to take a journal, piece of paper, pen, and give your hand permission, give your spirit, your heart permission to just write out what you would want. What do you want? So what do you want? Wouldn't it be great to wake up every day and just be gleeful, joy-filled, and love your relationships, love your work, love your kids, love your dog, love your life, and if not, love it in process. Love it forward. We are creative energy. If we only get one shot, this is not a dress rehearsal. This is the life we've got right now. So I hope that you live it fully. So thank you for showing up with me on this first video of the series of creating a life that you love. We've talked about love as a choice. We've talked about, is it your truth or someone else's truth? And finally is the creative part of it. We are creative energy. That's it. We get to create a life that we love. So you can't have what you want until you know what you want. So please spend some time just listening to your heart about what your heart and soul wants for you. So thanks for joining me. I'll see you at the next video. Until then, be radiant, radical, and oh so real. Thanks.